everybody expected a lot out of them. If you look at the tier list that fans and the analysts and everybody was putting together, Heretics were often at the top. So this needs to be a big game for Heretics if they're going to get themselves back into that position to maybe make a run.
Absolutely. Already, though. A bit of pace here from the side of Wolves. Juicy just storming out of mid doors. It's a quick check over towards Shop. Sees nothing. Should lead Wolves to the conclusion that this A site's about to be attacked. Looking forward here from Minibu gets himself situated on the site. Spike still needed to be brought forward. The wall holding them back for the moment. Lysor here backside dodging that concuss. Does get spotted out. Riens collects it through the smoke. Finds a kill. Smoke dropping. Juicy able to find one. Trades it back. Seems even. Trades it up.
One enemy
also going to be
remaining.
getting involved. Final shot's going to go flying across. Two players from the side of Wolves still standing tall. The pistol is theirs.
Chamber.
Tremendous util here from Siufat. Just a really nice ability to get that haunt down. That really broke things open for the Wolves. That fade util so powerful in his hands. The IGL does such a good job, not just with his util, but with his shooting as well. But Juicy, the one thing I was really impressed about with him, I mean, obviously you and I got to cast him all the way back at Ascension when he was on Bleed. An incredibly talented player. We know how good he is. But this is his first time at the international level. And he was unafraid. I saw him just going in. Whenever his team called for him to make that play, to be that guy, to go in and maybe even just die for the cause, he was ready, willing, and able. And he, once again, stepping in there. A little concerning with Lysor. Tried to make a sneaky play behind the box, but at the end of the day, didn't cost him too much.
Nope, full investment here. Outlaw in the hands for YU, just holding things down over by mid doors. Looks like once again, Heretics going to poke and prod a little bit. They get the orb take over on towards Minibu to try to get that dimensional drift online as quickly as possible. But in the end, this is likely going to be a 4-player push in through A main. Just try to death ball and overwhelm anyone who'd be waiting for them on the site.
And you got a little bit extra Vice utility there to back up the Astra if this execute does come through this direction. So it is going to be a little bit tricky. You know, the Oru can get past it a bit, and you have a Jet as well. So you do have some options to bypass some of the stall, some of the delay that this double Sentinel Wolves comp brings at you. Along with that Astra, of course.
Looking for the flick attempt there, unable to find it. Just going to be a little bit of info gained. You see the Astra cutting across from Shops. That should tell you that the A site is about to get hit, especially as the Prowler sees nothing in Link. Free fire shot, connect onto Woot, puts him down to half HP. So Wolves in position to try to go for the Flood retake, or if not, just slam the door here in their faces. Minibu does come away with one. Juicy going to be taken down. Second shot there from YU, able to connect. Wants to push forward, denied. The plant money cannot do that, but still will be able to pick up a 3K. And that is going to be overall a very clean anti-eco win as Wolves start things off 2-0.
Yeah, looking really solid here. Maybe a little bit off with some of those outlaw shots for YU, but that's okay, because the game plan was good. You had a lot of stall at the front of the A site. You're able to get just about every flank position possible here. And you've got Dugout, you've got Secret, you've got Flowers. You have a great
enemy remaining.
position to just flood in there, knock them out of the round. And the quietest pop-off I've ever seen.
Do I stand?
You know, I had a chance to talk with Fade a little bit today before the match, and you know, asked him how he felt. They were super confident coming into today. The one player he mentioned was Lysor. He said, you know, this is the guy who has experience on the big stage. We need him to step up more.
Need that back. Need that back.
Only fair. Bucky in hand for Spring. He's holding close over at A. And Juicy hits the one tap.
Goodness.
Guardian just absolutely obliterate Boo. She'll send the cage to slowly drift across over towards Art. Spring pushes forward into the smoke. Does get flushed out eventually as Riens with the spray will be able to get it to connect. But this is still already so much damage dealt, and they haven't made their way into the site quite just yet. Wood's still tagged up. Only 65 health behind. Is thrown over the top. Will be able to get the spot out on the one. Doesn't get the dart though, so Wood can't just try to go for the wallbang shots here. Tailwind now expires, flashes into their face. The spike still not brought forward here into the site. Benchy Fishy's thinking about this flank, but now has his eyes turned back into the site itself. YU arriving, doesn't hit the shot, but now they consistently have to have heads on swivels. As Lysor on the quick peek, finishes off Woot. Juicy gets Benji Fishy. And Wolves are about to give themselves a bonus conversion. Riens needing to pull off a miracle. 9 remaining here in the magazine. 3 swings out. It's Juicy's 3K. Go ahead and seal the deal on the 3-0 start.
Juicy, so deadly with this Guardian. Just winning an isolated battle there against Boo. Spring, who was tremendous throughout that match against the Sentinels. Him and Juicy both just really, really stellar. But Spring absolutely was a hero at times. I mean, he won so many rounds for the Wolves. Believe it or not, he's second in ADR right now in the tournament.
Give me a
Spring only behind Texture.
It's pretty insane considering coming out of the pause. Very closely fought one. 3 Sheriffs, a Frenzy, Stinger here. Heretics looking to try to change up the pace a bit. Light Spray, only gonna get a little touch of damage there, but Spring will be able to snap one for the headshot. Blue's gonna be taken down.
He's just so clean. He's doing a great job there. He's holding his angle, not overstaying his welcome. Not giving Team Heretics the ability to stack an extra man and trade. Very efficient stuff.
Basically trapped in here at the moment. Wall does get popped by Rienz.
But I like this from Wolves. They're just giving this up. They feel the pressure. They've only got 2 in position. They don't really have full information other than Rienz. They don't know if they stuck around inside a link. We're going to find out here real soon.
Mysore obviously here, hearing that. Does get pinged out. Does get taken down. Miniboo with a very nice headshot. Brings it now into a 4v4. Spike getting planted. Safe spot here for Boo. No punish to come through. Still 2 players from Wolves needing to rotate all the way across the map. And now Miniboo has a Phantom in hand, as well as the Dimensional Drift. Is he committed? Is the question. Maybe with one more kill, you'd certainly feel a bit more inclined to do so. Fishy though. Yeah, right through the corner. There at Alley, gonna be taken down low, and okay, push coming through. That's gonna be the transfer connecting. Rienz with another headshot though, now finds himself in a 1v2 situation, trying to clutch us out. Weapon recovered. The Nebula, however, dissipating, gets the spot out, finds the kill! But YU with the headshot keeps them off the board.
Similar scenes for the Wolves to what we saw against Sentinels. A hot start, but this time it's on the defender side, the side of the map where they struggled a bit. But here on Pearl, they look so in control, as you would maybe kind of expect with the comp that they're running, but they're still doing a great job of setting up for these post plants, being really, really patient, coming from a lot of different angles.
It's always that other side of the coin though, because for Heretics, they have that Jet Yor, they have that double duelist, and the impact hasn't really been coming through. Overall, a decent round from Miniboo. It doesn't lead to the win. It gets them close, but close is not going to be good enough.
Now you've got this ultimate to deal with. The tour de force available. Gonna try to hide from the drone.
No one here to clear this out for him, so we'll just go for a bit of a timing peek before the quick exit. It's back around the corner. Hunter's Fury going to be lobbed in to try to get the tracking here onto him. Dances around it. Bounces back the opposite side. Does manage to stay safe. Miniboo now. Swaying towards upper. Exits the Dimensional Drift. It's going to be looking for a punish. Spring on the peek out. It'll find Woot. He goes back through. YU taken down. Value to be found there from the tour de force, and Spring's flushed out. Mysore still tuning around, gets himself in position to join in with Shufa Baby, but now they find themselves in 2v4. Boo once again gets the spike planted.
Spike planted.
Be tough to go for this one. Really, the haunt and the seas.
Last player standing.
No charges.
Now it may just be a save.
That basically makes it impossible. He's got plenty of money. He knows that Heretics don't. Playing for some damage. Gonna be the worst idea here for him. Let's see if he can actually get anything as Shock Dart does connect.
We'll catch them.
Looks like in the end, will just be a quick little repivot back over to the top. Spot out, but kill cannot be found. And now you've got Boo in pole position to go ahead and get this punish. Will be able to do so. So 4 players surviving. Team Heretics, that's the round win they've been looking for.
Yeah, this is just a really good aggressive round. You know, Lianos Pesky has been talking about the way that this team likes to accelerate. This is a round where they just punish the solo chamber. No real good opportunities for that tour de force to do its thing. YU gets shut out of that round pretty nicely, using that Hunter's Fury as well to really clear open the site for themselves, along with, of course, the Dimensional Drift. So that's a really solid round there for Team Heretics to pick up. See if they can double down. There is going to be the operator, though, for YU. Do have a Dimensional Drift and a Cosmic Divide of their own. Quick dash forward. A main control established and a spot there. On to Spring.
Spot no punish, but that allows for Miniboot to just go ahead, grab up another orb. And 2 charges towards the next dimensional drift. Juicy has his online. Cosmic Divide there for Wolves.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Heretics try to isolate YU again and try to punish him. Worked in the previous round. He looked a little shaky with the snipers. So maybe that's an angle that you can find to really start pushing the Wolves' buttons a bit. But instead, looks like they're going to set up for an A crunch. They're going to have a little bit of info on this. Here comes the dimensional drift from Juicy. Just saw the back.
Spotting out the 2 players. The others getting ready to strike in. Now advancing forward through Art. Juicy going to be exiting that, trying to make them constantly consider a flank in from behind. Cosmic Divide going to be invested as well here at Spring. The Cubby looking just for a wallbang attempt as the plank gets ready to come through. Otherwise, it's just going to be providing audio here for the team and moved up and over the top. Ends up getting taken down. Shots on the re-ends, not quite going to connect. He gets himself out alive as the spike does get planted. That does give a player advantage here to the side of Wolves. Wolf Flash coming through, but Ice just kind of pushed forward in front of the wall. It's all crumbling to pieces. Spring Fat Baby do manage to bring this into a 2v2. Hero Theft getting the reveal. Benji Fishy holding his own. Ducks back behind the enemy Cosmic Divide, using it against them.
One enemy
Pushes forward now into the 1v1, but time ticking away, dwindling down. Looking to try to close this one. Boo reading it perfectly that he's not sticking this at all. Backs away, now knows that he has to commit to it. And he will strike, takes the second tap. He gets the kill all the same. Narrow margins, but Heretics will pick up a 2nd round win.
Yeah, this looked like it was going to be a decent round here for Wolves. They've got good information. Spring's position in the dugout, really annoying to deal with. Tried to spam on towards the spike there as well. But then,
the bullets ready.
Yeah, exactly. But then they're able to just kind of flood past that Cosmic Divide and do some real damage real fast to the players of Wolves. Catches them out in the open just a little bit.
Guys, we're getting into the game. I like that we're fighting. I like that we're going forward, okay? Let's keep that up.
Absolutely.
Maintain that aggression.
And now you've got Wolves on their first eco. So you've got a real opportunity to get very close.
Pixel angle from Boo. Looking very clean. Fat Baby going to be taken down.
And now just a bit of a fallback to wait this out a little bit. I mean, I think they're waiting for their moments to accelerate. Got both of the duelists together, and that's a nice shot from Miniboo.
A bit of an off angle. Up on top of that little ridge, not something that you typically see players do. Juicy now having to manually move over to try to re-clear this B site. Push not coming in though. Heretics looking to just be a bit flowy with this round. Don't want to over-aggress, don't want to put themselves in bad positions to get punished.
Yeah, they're just really being diligent.
Spike drop.
Very concerned about an aggressive Wolves play. And you do see this from time to time from them, where they'll try to spread the map or just send some lurks. So you got to be real careful.
Take flight.
You never know when one of them's just going to start walking up mid on you. Rian's
30
going to go for the
seconds
check. Will get the spot there. Juicy identified.
Try to get the wall bang kill. Hasn't been able to do so, but flash out. Miniboo just storms the site. And that is quickly going to be the remaining players of Wolves dealt with. Just YU still slowly creeping over to see if we can try to stop this from being a flawless round. Nebula dissipating. Boot's there. Boot is instantaneous with it. Flawless round. Team Heretics running this back, establishing a very strong economy.
Yeah, this is really nice for them. Starting to find their groove, starting to make some good reads. Yeah, against an eco there, but the previous 2 rounds starting to really come together. It's a tight angle there for Boo. No problem at all. Miniboo set up with the Nova Pulse.
One enemy remaining.
Able to follow up nicely. Spamming through the smoke. Knows somebody's probably back there. Yeah, just a good round for Heretics. Starting to get the wind underneath their feet. Another op invested here for the Wolves. Trying to get YU going on that chamber.
A bit of a reposition, but it's a heavy stack towards this A side of the map for the Wolves, but everybody right now from Heretics storming their way down through B. Dimensional Drift will go ahead and ensure that this is cleared out for them. Is everyone now having to back away? Double stack going to be noted here in this position. Just a flash, quick exit. Looking to maintain control of this upper position. Tiny little licks of damage going to be taken here by Miniboo, but widely Heretics in firm control of the site. YU still checking around, lingering to try to see if there's a lurk, but just don't have the information that every one of the others is here from the side of Wolves.
Yeah, I like that we're playing long here. Avoid this nightfall. Beautiful.
I mean, but Benji Fishy, okay, gonna be caught off guard a little bit there, point blank. Nice, we're able to come away with the kill. Invests the ultimate. Weapon's gonna be taken out of their hands. Rien's now dead. Wu here inside of the smoke has a shorty. This time had shells loaded up, but only gets the one pump off.
Last player
Looks like we're down to 55, and this retake from Wolves is looking damn clean. The re-swing out, nothing that Boo can do. Full 5 pacing. Wolves will keep Heretics at arm's length.
That's a brutal round to fall for Heretics. Great stuff again from Wolves. Retakes looking really solid overall. They've been converting pretty nicely on them. But I thought Heretics were going to have a really good idea here. You maybe leave one player close because you got the Nightfall and you got the Vice ult, and they just kind of try to play it up close, and they chew through some of those ults, and that really opens things up for the Wolves.
This is my new favorite thing. Just the silent, calm stand-up.
Yeah. Just letting them know that you're not flustered at all. 3 rounds in a row, no problem. We're punching right back. Similar scenes here, trying to cut off this A main access. Seems to be a real pain point that they want to identify.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Maybe we're just going to be trading some rounds out here. That's why you trying to go for the blind shot. It's going wide, but Juicy dead. That is a critical target found here for Heretics.
There's no full committal to this push. Spike's still down, back by Spawn, so for Heretics, they're looking for a reaction. One of the things that concerned me a little bit with Wolves against Sentinels was Sentinels was doing a great job baiting out their util when Wolves are on the defensive side and really giving themselves advantages in that department. So definitely need to see the Wolves maintain their discipline as this one goes along. Rien's, it's a little bit of info. Boo very close to another Cosmic Divide, and they're going to stack up for another A hit.
Nebulous popped. YU play out in front of this one here at Art, but it's getting fully flashed up. Has to make a quick exit with the rendezvous.
30 seconds left.
It's just here on the opposite side. He can hear their movements, hear their footsteps, but doesn't know when's going to be safe to try to go for the strike. Wu just get taken down there mid-air. That's why YU tries to go out with the headhunter in hand, but just get taken down. 2v4 now. As Wolves try to stretch this lead a little bit further than before, though, and Miniboo already lingering within the smoke. Finds the punish, and Lysor might just have to go for the save. Looks like that is going to be the call. Or at least a quick peek over in towards Secret. Miniboo looking strong, looking deadly. Gets himself a 4K. It's Heretics once again just one round away from tying things up.
Just that early kill there onto Juicy. Things that much more difficult for the Wolves, and Miniboo having a whale of a round. 4 kills for him on the Yoru. And that's really good discipline there from Team Heretics. Not overextending, not pushing past where their comfort would be. You know, anticipate what they want to do coming out of this. Woot has a Blade Storm, but not necessarily something you're going to pull out on rifle rounds unless things get a little bit wild. We'll see. Unless they have some kind of trickery up their sleeves.
Might be good for the entries when he's trying to clear out dugout.
Yeah.
Having the blades online.
Definitely usable. Look at all this Vice util. Shift in direction here for Lysor.
I mean, then relying on him to basically be able to hold this down. Given the tendencies for Heretics to try to poke and prod around this A side, at least in the early stages of the rounds.
Well, and it's a shift back to what worked on the bonus for Wolves, and that's Juicy pushing up long B, holding down that main angle. And nobody has made any contact with him, so he's falling back. This is kind of making Wolves lean more towards the A side.
Just for the setup on the dimensional, or rather the gate crash here. It's going to end up taking him a hell of a lot further away than he might like, given that we look to see Heretics committing onto this site. Okay, just pop Spring though. Wow. Pre-firing, able to find Woot. Gets the elimination there. Benji Fishy similarly going to be taken down. Juicy holding back Pillar now can make his exit. Boot does manage to find one as Spring will fall. So Fat Fading able to go ahead and tuck back into Hall.
30 seconds
Self-protected. Rien's and Boo now have to try to clutch this out. And there's the first step, but it's all down to Boo. spike in hand, but position noted, knows that he is going to be surrounded. Dodges the C's, gets away from that, but as he pushes back forward, he will meet his demise. Wolves, timeout works a treat. They get themselves to 6.
Yeah, this is really into the Wolves' wheelhouse here. Finding these one and dones, finding these picks. Something they're really, really talented at. There's no doubt in my mind about the individual skill on this Wolves team. They are extremely fearsome. Need to get YU going there with the kill.
One enemy
Juicy. So good all the time. CUFAT. Tremendous outings for them against Sentinels. Some huge clutch plays. And IGLing to boot, but Spring will be their top fragger once again as Juicy trying to push this angle. He's got a little bit of help. Clears the drone.
YU just only has a headhunter and a shorty at the moment. Either way, plenty of presence noted here.
My ult is ready.
As Hunter's Fury now going to be online with that orb take. Cosmic Divide available, and that's going to be committed immediately. We've got Spring here playing forward in front of this one to try to find some kills, and kills he shall find. Rien's wound, Benji Fishy, all just absolutely annihilated as Wolves lose 1 and guarantee a lead at the half.
Spring is so smart. He finds these angles against the Cosmic Divide where he's going to be good for at least 1 kill. We saw it earlier from the dugout position. Now he finds 3 big ones.
Incredible.
One enemy remaining.
Their own Cosmic Divide available here for Spring, as well as a Dimensional Drift for Juicy. Who's got one to match on the opposite side. That Hunter's Fury still available, and yet there is plenty to be happy about. Shoot that baby, I'm asleep at the wheel a little bit. Woot finally pulls the trigger on this Blade Storm. Finds very good results.
That's what I was looking for. A little bit of trickery there and up and over. Find that first kill. That's a huge one. Taking the fade out of the equation. It makes retakes way more difficult for the Wolves.
Gotta be more creative now that you only have 1 updraft. You can't go for the Meteor Classic. As Hunter's Fury gonna be able to find a tag, Light Sword. Dodging the shots there. Just managed to stay alive, but Mini Boot right there on top of him. Tucks back. The Dimensional Drift is Juicy flashing himself. Trying to enter in towards Art. Just stomping around, dead. The spray out from Spring finds him while you falls, but it doesn't matter. Suddenly just Benji Fishy left. The spike dropped here at the entrance to the A site, and he only has a stinger.
I think they're going to be able to suss this out pretty quick. Juicy just cleared Art.
The desk was talking about 4v5 conversions earlier on.
30 seconds left.
This is going to be a hell of one for Wolves to find, to get themselves 8 and 4 at the half. Another multi-frag round here from Spring.
This is looking really good for the Wolves. A lot of good coordinations, good adjustments, and Spring is popping again.
Out in the lead, we're able to find the opening pistol. We'll see if they can get the second, or if Heretics can continue to try to run this back, make this a bit more contentious. We'll find out after halftime.
One enemy.
Strong start as they swap over onto the defending side.
No doubt about it. Now you're really looking for Juicy to accelerate for the Wolves. Start kicking indoors. Start finding ways to break through the Heretics' defensive lines. Kind of a 2-1-2 here. Benji Fishy going to be locking down mid with his U-tilt, putting a long cross right outside of Art with one of the trips. The camera right at doors, and a little bit of a push out from Boot. He is checking out towards A, but that's where the trademark is there for YU, so that doesn't seem to be the angle that Wolves are considering for their attack. They're lining up for a B hit all the way.
Prowler heard. An orb take here. Trying to get Juicy towards that Dimensional Drift.
Changing
Slow
thoughts.
creep away.
Yeah, no contact there. Maybe feeling like it might be a trap. And they didn't get any responses from their util. They still haven't. They're trying to figure out where the hell Team Heretics are.
Flash. Not gonna catch anything there. They clear out this cam. He's had connected, but Benji able to wait that one out. He's waiting to try to see if he can find a moment to strike the pilot. However, will scout him out. Move for the Sheriff.
30
off
seconds
screen,
left.
finding YU as shock darts get lobbed in, and Juicy falls down to 60. And right now, a little bit contained. Minibu goes up over the top of screens, finds that kill, but Juicy trades it back. Two
Spike
eliminations
down
going to be
B.
found. Now it's just Juicy, Lysor. 130 health between the two of them. The plant now coming through. Woot down to
10
22.
seconds left.
Any damage from the Ghost basically will be able to find an elimination there, but who was going to be the first target, the first point of contact, and Juicy is able to win it
Last
out.
player standing.
Puts himself alone.
Enemy
Swings,
remaining.
somehow catches Benji Fishy! And now it's just the Jet with no HP to speak of.
Fake teleport.
As he looks for the ace, and he will find it! Wolves get both pistols, Juicy gets the ace! 9-4.
Unbelievable. I said I wanted to see Juicy accelerate here on the attack side, and that is as good as it gets. Stellar stuff from the duelist.
And he does it with 60 health.
That is just nasty.
Last player
The
standing.
long range win. This one right here.
One enemy remaining.
The heartbreaker. Oh.
Whips on the Jet to kill Benji Fishy, and then gets the closer. That is devastating. Marshall going to be invested here from Minibu. Trying to hold down that B site. Slow approach from Wolves. Are working their way into position where he could potentially find some value with that sniper.
They're trying to fish it out. I mean, this is something you have to suspect with Wolves. They do love the Outlaw. You know, whether it's a very popular gun.
It's just a double push up here. They haven't confirmed or heard this Marshall at all. Minibu makes it sing. Great headshot. That's the Vandal on the floor. Spring in position to potentially recover it. Let's have it in hand now.
Damn. It's a crazy good shot. This is something that Heretics like to do. Buy up a little bit on these ecos. Marshall Sheriffs.
Right there.
Gun here.
We'll peek out. Not sure if Spring had been spotted, but other players
Playing the Sylvan spot.
not quite being noted here. You still
30
have 4
seconds left.
from Heretics all the way across the map.
Take hold.
A lot of pressure on
Bring them
Minibu.
down.
Try to find a bit more value here. Has to clear the Prowlers. They know his spot, and that's going to be Spring taking him down. 4v4, but weaponry
Spike planted.
really to their advantage whatsoever unless Woot can come up with some absolutely insane shots with that Sheriff. YU potentially in a poor spot. Pressure getting ready to fly through. And yeah, you're TPing right where you were standing already. Rian's not going to fall for that old trick. Collects the kill. Outlaw not going to be the greatest weapon to try to get the retake going, but they look at overwhelm. And overwhelm they have.
Last player
As
standing.
Woot, it's back-to-back shots to the skull. Lights are down to 10. He will take it down to 2 remaining players, but Team Heretics, they will take the thrifty win.
Unbelievable. The MasterCard Thrifty coming through there for Heretics. Punching right back after getting aced. And Woot, player who we got to see a lot on the duelist role back at Master Shanghai, has been playing Jet on this match. The one time they played it against Na'Vi, he comes up huge with the Sheriffs. Sometimes you might question a little bit these investments that Team Heretics likes to put in their eco rounds. Can be a little bit costly if they can't convert, but this one right here, that could be a game changer.
Yeah, if there's anything that can really get the players jazzed up, locked in, it's a round like that, especially off the back of an ace from Juicy. There's YU hearing the orb take, sees the trip set. Be able to
Lysor
find any kind of punish here, though.
with a frenzy here. There's that tripwire. It's going to have to be cleared. Hot flash on a timing there for Heretics. Didn't quite catch the Wolves, but right idea, wrong time.
Try to lock them in position there. It's straightforward, and YU unable to escape. He's dead far too quickly. It's Benji Fishy ready for these players to come drifting out of that smoke, and Minibu
Spike
is
down.
connecting
A.
with the stray shot on the Lysor. Shuts down this push in every which way.
Juicy TP'd out of there and just trying to wait it out, see if anybody gets aggressive, and it could catch him with the right click. Interesting choice of classic there, Juicy.
Showing some support, but ultimately he's going to have to die. He's trying to assess his
30
options, figure
seconds
out
left.
what the best play is going to be. Had he just immediately sprinted over towards the B site, would have at least been able to get the plant down, get money from that. Instead, it's just going to drift into Art and not be ready for Benji Fishy to be on a deeper angle. So kill comes in. That's flawless as Team Heretics continue to try to run this one back. 3 rounds still separating. Wolves still in a good position, but momentum is not on their side.
Now you're going to be able to afford an operator for Woot. Still going to be the judge for Boo. This one, a very important round for the Wolves to try to stop the bleeding here. Things have been going oh so well. You had gotten the second pistol, and all of a sudden, script has been flipped. So Juicy with the ult of his own. Could do a little bit of fact-finding. Heretics trying to play aggressive on this angle. But Wolves back for now. Smoke to obscure. Mini Boo.
Who's next?
Try to slide forward. Ult popped, and he knows they're probably somewhere near.
Plant a spike.
Sees them both. Gives them all the information here about the site that they can possibly want.
I'm back.
And as the clones go flying, Juicy gets his exit out of the dimensional drift. Both players now contained here into halls. Flash is going to be exchanged. Brings people behind one. Juicy looking to go ahead and get this second elimination. Sends it on the corner, and Mini Boo eats the whole damn thing. Site broken open. Even then you have the op in tow. Heretics are going to have to just go for the save.
This is beautiful work from Juicy. Using that dimensional drift to great effect. Kind of understanding that Team Heretics were corralled in the back alley. And he just says, I'm going to pop out behind their cyber cage. They're going to have no idea I'm here. We're going to clear the site with one of our prowlers. The other prowler we're going to use to follow up after I get the first kill on a flash. Beautiful work and coordination there from the Wolves. And Juicy, when you need a duelist player on the attack side, he has answered the call. He has been ridiculous.
There's encroachment on his positions coming through. Spring maybe having a pretty solid idea about where a jet with an operator would like to go. And well, he'll find out the hard way that he was correct. Ends up getting taken down. Op will be held. Boo similarly surviving. Money's going to be there, but Heretics now calling their first timeout of the match.
Yeah, already an early timeout. We want to talk about ways that they can avoid some of the Yoru shenanigans there. Kind of just in a spot where you're just smothered by the flashes. I mean, yeah, Mini Boo's just seeing stars.
Yeah. On up, still retained. Woot, looking like it might be just a shallow little angle here on the A site, peek in towards A main. That's where the line share of the Wolves are going to be.
Blind is dead.
TP behind the box. Prowler cleared out by Rien, so the op shot hasn't sung out quite just yet. Looking with a quick little scope in there. He's trying to reposition. Clones are soaring forward onto the site. Benji Fishy going to be taken down though as YU peeks down towards that B site through the connector. Comes away with the kill. Kill found, but door widely slammed shut here in their faces. Wolves are quickly going to pivot away.
Yeah, that kill from YU is huge because it opens up this angle to be more comfortable for this rotate. Now we can try to hold the line somewhere else, but the drone here, not sure if it saw him. He's going to reposition off the back of that. Try to just catch him off guard. I think they did see him. They pinged it out.
Probably not the spot that you would expect him to fall back into. Who still does get the check. Takes a double take, but comes away with the kill all the same. Cosmic Divide invested though, so they can safely get the plant down. Knives now going to be popping from Wu as they get ready to go 4v3 into the retake. Wu just here, opposite side of the wall. Dimensional drifts going to be coming through, gets body blocked. They're actually locking him out for a brief little moment, but the players are still going to be spotted all the same. It's all the info here for his teammates. Trying to send the flashes, drops out of this one, but he's just trying to wide swing, and Shoot That Baby says absolutely not. Doesn't give the opportunity. Woot still does manage to go ahead and swing around the pillar. Find the shot, Spring flushed out through the smoke. It all comes down to Lysor, who will swiftly dispatch. Timeout works for Heretics. The gap once again, 3 rounds.
Yeah, just beautiful util usage here from the Heretics. Getting that identification onto YU's position over an Art. Kind kind of being at least somewhat mentally prepared that he could be around that corner. Boo was checking it as he was swinging. YU, no chance. Nice attempt by Mini Boo, but the flash never really connected.
One enemy remaining.
And then they're able to just kind of understand, hey, there's only 2 more. They're both in alley.
Nice, guys.
Just
Well
lock
played.
that down.
Let's go.
3 rounds away from tying up the Wolves. Starting to look good. And let's see if they can keep it going. Still have that op. Still at A main.
One from a Nero, one from a Hunter's Fury. As narrow margin to try to find that shot. We're actually trying to hold this angle. Boo just disrespects it. Goes out, finds the kill. And Juicy's just gonna get sprayed down by Rienz. The wheels are coming off now as Heretics. They are finding their groove. There's nothing more to be done here. Sufat and Spring than to just try to lock a position down and hold on to these weapons.
You gotta save here. You gotta keep these guns into the next round. Like that Woot changes up his play round to round with the operator. Previously, he had just fallen right back after taking that opening shot. This time, he dips back through and catches Lysor off guard, takes that kill. That starts putting the pressure on the Wolves. They're trying to spread the map, and it just does not go their way. And that's something that the Wolves can struggle with. They're a team that likes to try to send out multiple feelers, trying to figure out where the open space is, using a couple different players.
30 seconds
and
left.
if they can win those individual battles off that individual skill, looks great. If they can't, things just kind of fall apart, and they're left in a position like this where they have to hold on to their guns for an extended period of time in the round.
We'll be able to retain them. No one really storming out to try to hunt them down.
10 seconds left.
Heretics not wanting to take any risks whatsoever, but it will be a flawless as the gap closes one step at a time. 8 rounds now picked up for the side of Heretics. Wolves going to be scratching their heads as they find their economy down in the dumps.
Yeah, this is starting to look really nice for Heretics. That timeout had worked a treat for them, and now it's actually going to be a counter timeout. I was curious how much longer they were going to hold on to this, but the gap narrowed to 2. That seems to be the moment that Fade wants to get the ship back under control, get it steered in the right direction again. Don't want to let this Heretics team get hot. That position over towards B link, because that seems to be, I think, where the Wolves want to try. They've been really trying to brute force their way through A main. Haven't been able to find much success in that direction.
Honestly, economy not in a great position, but 2 decent ultimates to try to make a thrifty go of it. They have the Nightfall as well as the Steel Garden available, so they should be positioned to clear out the site, take these guns out of the hands of Woot and Benji Fishy. There's a possibility here for Wolves.
Yeah, and they're trying to spread out a little bit. They're going to give up this space a little bit intentionally, and that's a good shot for Woot.
It is. Benji, of course, does have the shorty behind here, just ready to play off his own trip. One going out, the rush coming through. Shabbat able to find it, but it's still going to be a good amount of damage. Delta's weapon gets recovered. Rienz gets taken down. Suddenly, sights open up. Woot's still here, though. Basically shoulder to shoulder with him. The peek on the angle. Lysor instantaneous with a headshot. That Sheriff coming up huge. Miniboot drops down, finds one, gets out. Now, only has 30 HP. Barring a miracle, my God, I think Wolves have actually done it. As Miniboot, yeah, he's going to back away. He doesn't want to try to go for this. The Thrifty to come through with just the 2 carried over weapons. The ult's working a treat. Wolves will be 2 round wins away from taking Pearl.
Now, once again, it seems like Heretics trying to avoid those ults as best as they can. And I think Benji Fishy has a decent idea there. Oh, you gonna guess?
Seems like no. Oh, he got him! Spring! Is just too damn smart.
He is something else.
Wait until the last millisecond to make him think that he was safe, to think that he was going to survive, to hold on to the weapon before he tears everything away from him.
Fat eating some of those shorty bullets for his teammate. Finds a double kill with 10 HP again. Did that against Sentinels with a Sheriff. the clutch around. This one just breaks the side open.
Kyle.
Even Spring's a little bit surprised.
Time.
Yeah, how
That's
much was left on that clock?
absurd.
Oh,
Pretty much all in on this one. Only a couple players on the side of Heretics with a decent economy.
you have to consider you dropped that op over as well. So you have to be a little bit extra careful because you know that's still going to be in their hands. It's in YU's hands for this round.
To utilize it still, though, is Woot. Hadrian's clear the haunt. While you swinging is going to be at a disadvantage. Woot is able to go ahead and come away with the kill. 4v5 now for Wolves. Needed if they want to get up to map point right here and now.
Seen some great positioning early in the rounds for Heretics, and that's a nice shot from Mini Boo.
Swing out, Juicy. Dead. Hunter Spears from Rienz. Coming away absolutely monstrously. Shut baby going to be taken down. Lysor tagged to 70. And once again, I think Spring and Lysor are just going to have to stay tucked together, find a safe place, and try to ride out these remaining 40 seconds.
This is just on a knife's edge. It feels like every time one of these teams might start to run away with things,
30
one's
seconds
able
left.
to punch back. The Wolves there going to scoop that op back up and try to fall back into some safety. Let's see if Heretics can maybe find some last-second gun steal of their own if they wanted to go hunting. Boo's got plenty of money, so he could be the one to make a go of it
10
potentially.
seconds left.
But for now, it seems like they're content to stay, but just locking down mid there. I mean, this is, you were able to shut down Juicy from getting through towards B-Link, kind of one of those pain points from the previous round. So things are getting addressed here very quickly. Another nice timeout for Heretics. Absolutely effective.
Going down without a fight. It's a really nice vertical flick there from Woot. The necessary one, it feels like. But from there, the round just absolutely gets
Spike
away
down mid.
from Wolves. Quickly turns to chaos. They end up drowning in it.
You're going to hang on to that op at the very least. Benji Fishy does have a neural theft. They're all currently online. Boo went away from his, though. Could get a cosmic divide here in some fashion. I don't suspect the Tour de Force is going to be used this round, but you never know. Stranger things. Still holding on to all of his util. Just content to try to see if this time Heretics get a little bit more aggressive on that mid control, but it is very far back. These positions for Heretics are near their spawn.
Clear on the Prowler. Just gonna go ahead and take the gate crash as Star gets set up. There to block off the B access. Seems like that's going to be the call to rotate made here for Wolves. As they go stomping across towards this A site. Trip's gonna be set up on that art exit over towards stairs, and now you've got Woot on a line back by Flowers, staring into A main.
The Heretics are trying to make decisions off negative information, meaning they don't have much. They're going to get a rude awakening here in a second.
Woot on the push. Fake goes through, looking for him. Position on the off. C's going to be going in, and Benji Fishy pushes forward, mows down two. Neural Depth now going to get the ping reveal here. Spring is desperately trying to break through. The repeat here from Woot is able to find it. Rienz takes down Lysor, and that leaves just YU left standing now. The time is just not going to be there for him.
I have the spike.
Spike is
10
picked up,
seconds
but
left.
it's just too precarious a position to try to make a play. So instead, he'll just hold on to the operator, or try to. As he falls down to 59, the push coming through from Boo off the flank, and somehow YU does not read that at all. Up, lost. Tour de Force behind, yes, but Heretics are one round away from tying things up.
Dude, Woot with this operator is so fearsome right now. And then Benji Fishy steps in. Needed to see some of those big plays from him, and he's Johnny on the spot. Gets the neural theft to boot. And then that is easy pickings for the rest of Team Heretics. They've got all the info they need to cut Wolves apart.
You want to play? Let's play.
Now he's up on the box here. This is such a cheeky angle.
Just changing around the positions.
Good flash, though.
Able to confirm a bit. As a dimensional drift gets the spot out on one of the more critical players here to try to identify two back behind the pillar. Juicy now exiting, sees him, he's just lingering here within the cage. Benji on the opposite side. Smoke's obfuscating all. Luke finds the off-down onto one, pushes the smoke. Shorty out, Lightsword dead. Pops the blade storm immediately, Tails went back up through B long. Three peaks, shot goes a little bit wide. Spring is able to collect one, Juicy back over at Halls.
Spike down B.
Finds the kills, it's just Mini Boo left, but Spring will deny. Chaos abound, but Wolves this time thrive in it as they get themselves up to map point.
That is absolute madness there. On a knife's edge. Some of those shots, if they just could have landed one way or another, you know, maybe Woot hits that op shot onto Spring and it could be a very different round. It looked like he was just going to take this round over, switching into that Blade Storm when the pressure was on. Juicy stuck in the cyber cage, and he still manages to outdo Benji Fishy there. Just another great round off the back of that dimensional drift for
We're off to
Juicy.
the races, it would seem. They're looking for a fight here! Over at A main! And YU comes alive and sits them down. Boo frantically backpedaling the Prowler on the chase. The spot up on the Rien's over by Art. The Thorns at stairs, they hold him back, they spray him dead through the smoke. As the spike gets planted, Wolves absolutely crank up the pace here on the round. 2v4. As the Nightfall gets the connection. Everyone for the Wolves. Disconnected into main. Their own Cosmic Divide going to be used. Wrap around coming through. Fat Baby trying to arrive over towards Art. The push-up coming through. And they're both shot dead. 13-10. Wolves. Toronto, you guys ready? Alrighty, well, here we go. Barriers will drop. There's Mini Boo forward position out here on the mountain.
He's maybe going to get some pressure. They've got a lot of options to take this mound space with the Fade, with the Omen, with the Raze. See what they got dialed up, or if they're just going to try to dry peek this corner.
Who's going to be ready with a Paranoia, try to stave them off. On up and over the top, going to be a quick little clear there. Last pack exit. I believe Boo in a spot where he can try to catch somebody off guard, but
placing swarm grenade.
instead it's going to be a pivot
Swarm
cross
grenade
now
out.
towards A lobby here for Wolves.
Yeah, they, in their last pistol round, Wolves spread the map and had Lysor solo plant on B and kind of crumbled underneath Sen. So let's see if they try to stick together a little bit more on this one.
Here.
All it took was that blast pack, and that was enough to make them think that the other side of the map was going to be better. A bit of noise made here, door open.
Do you read and expect a double stack? Looks like the push forward in towards Tree, not going to be coming through, so Spring maybe not going to be caught here in the trap, but good. Does end up hearing two players in that position. Paranoia through. YU going to be held at bay here for the moment as paint shells go through, and now they're once again going to have to put the crossover on towards this A side. The vulnerable there, bounding forward. Lysor able to find the first. Juicy gets a second. Benji, Fishy, and Rien's have been flushed out. Weapons upgraded time ticking down, but still plenty
10 seconds left.
to get the spike in
planted.
play. 3v4 now for the retake with Mini Boo. Down to 22, back turn, and YU now striking on the flank. Spots out another one, goes unpunished. Boo desperately trying to get himself over towards the site to spray into the smoke. Not finding much, but Boo comes away with a second kill. Right clicks here, able to find them as Juicy gets himself a 3K, and Wolves continue to deny pistol wins from the Heretics.
Okay, now I'm concerned. Now I'm concerned for Heretics. Things are just not going their way on these pistols, and it is the Wolves looking so smart in this round. I think learning from their mistakes against Sentinels, making sure that they're sticking together, being really sure of the space that they've been given. And again, it comes off the back of CuFat, the way that he's using that Fade util to clear a site, to call the reinforcements over to go for that plant.
They did drop the anti-eco at the second half of
Fair.
So still going to be a concern, as there is going to be a very heavy death ball coming their way, but high-low setup here. Wolves are anticipating this.
Just one Sheriff for Rien's. That's the only buy-up this time around for Heretics. Marshall.
He's dead over at the A side of the map. Some noise to be made. Paranoia going to be sent. Prowler getting a catch onto one. Swing out. Spike
down.
here in the hands of this player. Going to get dropped, but Lysor swinging around the side. Gets a fadeaway shot onto Benji Fishy with the final bullet. Push forward, looks for a little bit more, but will be Spring to take it away. 2 casualties, a bit of damage going to be dealt here, but Wolves this time not dropping the anti-eco.
Yeah, all in all, you're not too fussed about that as the Wolves. A few kills there for Heretics, but the trap didn't really convert into any further damage. Let's see this. Wow,
Timing.
Spring, just a timing, yeah. The guy just is so dialed in.
On his reads.
Enemy remaining.
That's a nice readjustment there from Lysor, too, to find that headshot. He's got the fist pumping for Fade.
If he doesn't, I mean, you're looking at only 2 players surviving. Hell of a worse feeling going into this bonus as they look for a conversion. Turret set up for contact in B.
Here's a gun that gave Heretics a lot of problems.
Spots him out. You see good amount of damage going to be in there on the entry. Paint shell's lobbed in. Boombot similarly to try to scout. Doesn't want to try to push this angle towards Baby Door with the judge in hand. Minibu's able to find one, but Spring does get rid of Boot, so a trade on the fades at the end of it all. Spike now planted 4v4. A couple players, though, tagged up quite low on the side of Wolves.
This Judge still in play. Right around the corner.
Smoke going to be cycled in. Spring going to be taken down. And Juicy does manage to find one. Lysor gets the other player, Baby Door. Now it's just the double approach. Get through the connector. Lysor. Oh, they're just getting spammed out through the smoke. The push forward. Benji going to be good for 2 as he does find YU, but Juicy with another 3K. 2 charges from having his showstopper online. And a bonus conversion as Wolves start things off 3-0 once again.
I'm loving what we're seeing from the Wolves today. I can feel the confidence that Fade was telling me about before the map even started. It is the way that they are working together, the way that they're holding these crossfire angles. They're putting the right guns in the right spot. They're spamming at the right time. They're understanding their opponents so well. They have such a good read. And it is just another hot start on the attacker side for Juicy. He has been a world.
Oh my
No
goodness.
way.
Spring. Looking for a little bit more. Does find some damage. They're still going to try to shove forward, overwhelm, and eventually they will be able to do so. YU is going to stop them from getting value off of his fallen comrade's weapon. Gets a kill onto one, gets a spot onto Woot, still swings out for the challenge. Looking for the kill, will not be able to find it. Rienz trying to hold things down here at C, but it's just too much opposition. Once again, 4-0 start for Wolves.
This Wolves team is looking to make an upset. They are just fearsome. I mean, Spring. Mechanical God there. Got the dink and got the fade away as he was going back behind the toxic screen. And Lysor winning one on the other side. Sure, Spring ends up going down, but YU on the job to make sure that that gun's not recovered and there's no big problems behind it. Now you've got a showstopper for Juicy. Let's see if they're going to go for it right off the rip.
Season 8 avoided. Minor little slow up here on the approach.
Tremendous patience being shown.
Trying to figure out exactly what their angle of approach is going to be here. One little shot through the one-way. YU does get a connection onto Minibu. In the meantime, Spring a lurk forward towards the A orb.
That's so scary. And he's going to not hear much, not see much. So they're going to try to readjust into that direction, try to open themselves up for a pivot, but I like the way Heretics is maneuvering to try to cut this off.
Showstopper up and over the top, dodging this out. And Rien's out into the open, just no way to escape. Juicy finds the kill. Benji Fishy, however, plays forward into the smoke, gets a catch on the Lysor. Gets the spike on the floor for a brief little moment as the C's goes at him. But now the call can come through from YU. Pivot into B. The site is open. So Baby Door will get broken. So Fat Baby just going to stay tucked here at tree. Looking for the linger, looking for this backstab play. They're suspicious about it, but do they have the read? They're going to try to double clear him. They nearly line up. In the end, the trade is there, a 3v3. The health advantage in the hands of Wolves.
Not much util to speak of. A couple blast packs and a haunt.
I'll find you.
Benji can find one. It would give him a lockdown. Hate to have to commit that here. Won't get the opportunity. Builds up the ultimate in depth. There's 2 players surviving. Wolves 5-0.
It's just tremendous patience being shown by the Wolves. Not at just the beginning of the round to avoid the C's nade, a little thing like that, but then the pivot over off of the space that Spring is taking. And when Heretics tries to collapse, Heretics has 2 on B and 2 on A. They're ready for this A hit to try to get some flanks going. They're able to find this showstopper and then realize, whoa, 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 there's way too much going on. Benji Fishy already here behind the pillar on site. Let's go over to B. We think that might be open now. And it is a beautiful call again. I mean, CUFAT is on point as the IGL here. As Heretics on the side, you know, you're running a bunch of Sheriffs and a Stinger. Not exactly what you would want to try to flood your way through. But you do have some ability to clear it with the lockdown, the Nightfall showstopper. So there's counter punches if Spring does get that ult available.
Bring them down.
For now, Benji clearing the util and spam at, but just gonna fall back. And that Rien's there with him, one away from his Viper's Pit as well. Let's see if they're just gonna commit.
Uncleared.
Oh.
Sees nade, and that is just Rien's dead to rights. No way to escape. Juicy, a bad spot. Does get vulnerable. Does not get away from that Nanoswarm. Benji Fishy now re-swinging around the back. The peel off a second kill, but eventually is going to be flushed out. Spinning was similarly going to take it down. Spring still standing, still delivering. It's the commitment of the showstopper. Not going to be finding the value that was so desperately needed. Boo now alone with just this Sheriff in hand.
Gun here.
Turret set up over the top.
Cover going out.
Paranoia is not going to connect. And YU is instantaneous with a headshot. Puts him down nice and easy. 6-0. Wolves just looking absolutely electric.
I mean, other than a little bit of a body by Liza.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh no.
He made up for it.
He did.
He killed the Rays.
I mean, the funny thing about this round is, you know, Benji Fishy gets those 2 kills, and that makes Heretics think they could pull the showstopper. They whiff on it, and then it still ends up being the Wolves round, and just a little bit.
A little bit more space. Still 4 ultimates here. And those Wolves just never really at risk of getting caught by these C's nade combos. Seems like they always know where they're going to be coming from. They're always playing back, waiting for that util to get dumped early.
Yeah. You know, Team Heretics is trying to guess at the Wolves' tendencies, and they have not found any success on that.
Prowler going to be cleared. Up and over the top goes Juicy, and Benji Fishy will be able to sit him down. Entry power taken out of their hands here. So that is the best possible start to the round here for the side of Heretics.
Yeah, this is probably one of those rounds where Wolves are just feeling it, feel like they can do whatever they want on the map, but Juicy all on his own when he got into the site. Gonna try to pivot towards B a bit.
Mini Boo, though, with the retuck, gets himself on the side. They're going to try to go for the 90-degree clear-outs. Can't find either of them. Mini Boo standing tall.
30
CUFAT
seconds
maybe
left.
last one standing, so it seems like Heretics here will at long last get themselves a round win. There's a long road ahead of them, but being able to get this just on rifling, just on util, not on ultimates, that is a big boon for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And still, they could do a lot of
10
damage in
seconds
this
left.
defender side. Yes, Wolves already have 6, but you can run 4 or 5 in this one. You're going to be feeling okay going into your attacker side. So this is a good start. Good first foot forward for the Wolves. Or excuse me, for the Heretics. And the Wolves going to have to try to figure out a little bit of what they want to do. You're one away from the Nightfall, and then you've got a lockdown of your own. So Viper's Pit as well. So you've got a lot of counter punches, and immediately a
Wolves,
timeout is ripped.
Yeah, Wolves are calling a timeout.
Wow.
Enemy remaining.
And
I mean, I
Round
think
by round, we have to build the castle, you know, brick by brick.
absolutely. Absolutely. But I think very similar array of ultimates for both teams potentially. Just depends on if they're able to get an orb or a plant over for CU Fat or even a kill. They're going back to this 4-1 setup that they love to run at the beginning of the rounds. Again, Season 8 combo attempted early. Rian's just waiting for the pit, and he's going to rip it. See what the response is going to be. Are they going to go
for
for
lockdown? I mean,
yeah,
could just be lockdown for lockdown stalemate here on the C site.
Calling my bot. Initiated.
And that is exactly what is going to happen. And
Bomb grenade
if you're
out.
Wolves, you say, okay, we get 2 ults out of you, we can get 1 out of us, we back away. This is giving up a good amount of space and control over towards a site, though. Rubble firmly in the hands here of Heretics.
not going to fall for the detain bait.
This has dropped the pit. Why you just hits us straight onto Rien, so even if the pit hadn't already fallen, certainly would have now.
Oh, they dodged the Nightfall too. They had backed out a mound.
But now that they've dodged that, that could force the pivot from Heretics. They might take this as false information. Blew up and over the top. Spike is going to be brought over towards this side, it would seem. As it's just going to be a TP into the site to get the plant down and
30
spring.
seconds left.
Flushes out Boo. Benji and Wu, in all likelihood, should just try to go for the save here. Looks like Wu will at least take a peek.
One enemy
He
remaining.
will be noted and dealt with at the door. Benji Fishy has to just walk away. Wolves, the timeout call. It ends up working a treat.
Coming back.
It's brilliant. I mean, just the way that they immediately are ready to counter that Viper's pit. And you said it, 2 for 1. That's just a wonderful timeout call there by Fade. Reading into Team Heretics very nicely. And then they're able to work to the other side of the map. That TP from Lysor really opens things up for them. Spring wins a big duel against Boo. And he has just been so reliable. He is just an absolute menace over there on A, whether he's just creating attention or setting up for the lurks, getting information. And then on the other side here, just the timing. Just the timing. Rien's had knife out and just running forward. Got cut down. And there's Spring.
One enemy remaining.
Nettie's over there. YU holding the line. That's what you love to see from the Wolves. Just smart play. We know they can shoot. And they're looking for some kind of maybe fast B hit here.
Toxins going up.
Find into the side, try to get a pinch on anybody who might be hit with a vulnerable. It's going to be the Boom bot chasing over towards Mini Boo.
They get the Season 8 out again.
And ultimately, they're going to be happy with that. Smoke about to dissipate.
Face
Boo
your
going to try to
fear.
cycle this one back through. Is Nightfall going to be committed onto B? Quick little pick out. Boo comes away with 2. Spring and YU both going to be taken down. Fat Baby concerned about a potential push out from Mound.
Sent the Nightfall, tried to sell a fake. They do have a heavy rotation over to this A side. Now they may be
Still-
challenging Benji.
And still full util setup. Double nano in the alarm bot. Situated here on the entryway. Turret gets cleared though. That draws the attention of Benji Fishy back over towards B. Peek into the connector. Paranoia from Lysor at the ready, but will end up going wide.
You know
Now
he's in.
coming down, dodges the Haunt. Smoke going to be coming through. Juicy pressured here from
30
multiple
seconds
angles
left.
now. Fights back in, finds the first, tries to look for a little bit more. Was trying to go for a 180 flick, but does end up getting picked off there by Rienz. 2v3 now. Benji tagged to 72. This would be a back-breaking round loss for Heretics.
They don't have any util. Just gonna have to dry peek through.
Lysor should be dead on this angle if he swings out. Shots flying his way. It's the smoke set up to push into the smoke, and Fat Baby unable to find the shots, and they know exactly where the Omen is at. Push forward, Woot winning out the fight. 3 players surviving. Heretics find their second round win.
Yeah, just Boo this time. Taking matters into his own hand over at A Rubble. Gets those 2 huge kills. Snappy shots from the IGL of Heretics.
Seconds left.
That really opens up a lot of space for them. Good work by the Wolves to find some open of their own, but numbers were not in their favor.
Nice! Let's go, guys. Let's go. 5 rounds and we're Gucci, okay?
Yep, absolutely. I can totally agree. If they can string 3 in a row now, you're going to feel good about it. Still sitting on the Viper's pit for Spring, but plenty of money for the Rifles for the side of Wolves. Another big A contest here.
Uh-oh, this time, Wolves not quite ready for it. Sees Nate gets the catch. Spray down on the Juicy, 2 players dead off the rip of the round. Heretics very well poised to get that 3rd round win now.
Finally, it comes through for Heretics.
And even if you start making this close, Miniboo has the showstopper. So as long as he's not dead early, that is going to be a hefty concern. The high-low here on the corner. That baby just trying to clear out this util. Prowler around the back. Not going to note anyone.
There's just nothing being given up here by the Heretics. They've got everything on lockdown. Complete map control in their favor. This one looks extremely difficult to do. Alarm bot right on the other side there for this double stack.
Alarm bot cleared. Spots them both out. Finds the first, finds the second. Showstopper going to be sent. And that's going to be Spring and YU dead simultaneously. Tuck around the corner here. So Fat Baby now in a 1v3.
No way.
1-7-3 here at the moment. Swings in, spots the first, tries to get the transition, cannot do so. Sees grabbing him, trying to pull him in a little bit deeper, but Spike just cannot be planted fast enough. Woot will arrive, they make a good run of it, they make it close, but Heretics will get the round win all the same. 3-7 now, still, that's 7-5, a possibility.
Yeah, if you can get these early advantages, Team Heretics are good for it. Just finally able to find that timing, find that moment. Wolves decided to try to turn up the tempo a little bit at the start of the round when the barriers dropped. I mean, geez, YU. That is brilliant work with that angle. Showstopper was there.
Nice, good job.
And it's the one that takes him out.
Bro, that was unfortunate. Like,
so I think I'd like to see Wolves pump the brakes a little bit here. Take things a little bit slower. See if they can find their open space on the map. Uh-oh.
They went from reading these to disrespecting them and being punished by it.
Shadows traveling.
Oh,
They
boy.
dead. Off the very start, YU getting spammed down through the Viper wall at B. It's another rocky start to the round here.
And now you have no ability to gather info. You're just going to have to brute force your way through something. Taking their time.
Cover going out.
Benji's been a thorn in their side.
Creep across, Nano gonna be sent out. He's gonna be able to find lives at the same time. Benji Fishy holding down this C site. YU try to grab this orb and gets the ult, either with this or in death, but this way he can try to go for a save perhaps.
Absolutely would like to save.
So he's just gonna creep up, see if he can spot anything
30
out.
seconds left.
Challenge into the smoke. One goes out deeper, but yeah, just nothing realistically to be done here in this position. Heretics, once again, coming alive, starting to run things back. A 4th round win.
You can't get
10
caught by
seconds
these
left.
C's nades anymore. Got to wait out the beginning of the round a little bit. You know, I know there that maybe you think you're safe. Oh, hold the phone.
They'll be able to find a little kill here onto Woot, but nobody else really in position to try to find a punish. So YU going to be fine to go ahead and hold on to his weapon here. I mean, Lifesor able to escape, but getting a bit too antsy here. Get too aggressive. It's costing him dearly.
Benji really, really good here on this C-side defense in a couple of these rounds. Able to find a ton of impact. Nano's in good spots. Positioning excellent. He has been really annoying to deal with for the Wolves. Do have a Nightfall, but for Woot on the side of Heretics. Showstopper though for Juicy. Lockdown as well. course, still that Viper's Pit for Spring. No Season this time. Patience being shown here by Heretics. They've dipped into that well enough. They've gotten their value.
Lockdown going to be sent here off the rip. Brienne's going to try to reposition, wants to take a more aggro position here. As it shows up and now, going to be invested. Some damage going to be suffered, but Rienne's still able to find one before getting taken down. Nobody detained. Nightfall out in response. That's going to connect onto absolutely everyone here on the side of Wolves. As many of you goes chasing forward, gets himself here on the site, and they don't know what's hitting him. A blink and you miss it retake. Heretics deny the plant, and they rescue the half.
And that is exactly what the Heretics needed. That is what the doctor ordered. They are right back in this thing.
The Wolves are going to be kicking themselves, given the lead that they had established. 6-0 at a point. We'll see, though. Pistols have been on their side. We'll see if that continues when we come back after halftime.
C. One enemy remaining.
I don't really like
Basement really likes to cluster things together, get that kind of overlap between the nano swarms.
Yeah.
And if you get the alarm bot vuln out as well, then, well, you just basically guarantee the kill. We'll see what happens, though. Heretics have not been able to find any pistol wins so far in the tournament. Can this be their first as they look to take this all the way to Ascent?
Just the alarm bot at the front of the door, the turret over at B. 3 players over at A, but there's a smoke there slowing them down.
And I'm going to be lobbed in here as they try to go for the entry. Prowler just block out some of these bullets, though. YU forced to reposition. He'll get taken down. Woot there through the wall. Cuts him down to size. 3v5 now, looking for the retake. And overall, players on Heretics still pretty damn healthy. It's just Miniboo down to 54.
This has to be crazy from the side of Wolves. Still have the paranoia. Still have the haunt.
Wall will fall. Paranoia to try to clear out the close angles here, but no one going to get blinded up by that. A paint shell available for Juicy. Sends that around the bend. Miniboo going to eat even more damage, now down to 18. The kills still not yet being found. Lineup is there, though. Juicy finding 2. Pushes forward into the smoke. Who able to flush him out. Lysor now all alone. Gets the reload off the smoke. Gone. Tries to line it up. Finds the headshot. But needs to go for the stick here. Tries to go for the turn. Benji Fishy is going to try to just jump shot him here with a ghost. He's just able to make it happen. Benji Fishy barely gets them over the line as Heretics will find their first pistol win of the tournament.
It's as close as it gets. It's a great opener here off the back of the fade util. Miniboo just hold a W and take Spring with him. And then Woot through the wall. They know they've got YU pinned on the stairs. Just barely gets the wallbang headshot. And that is an absolute nail by Neil Zenia.
Yeah, they're just stressing out, and I cannot blame them.
Trying to find some grounding. Oh, man. Huge, huge for Heretics.
I mean, it's very necessary to instill some hope.
Screen down.
Some pressure. Over towards C. Lysor going to be caught. Bounces out of the snake bite, but eats so much damage, down to 22.
There.
Really wants to do everything he can to keep that hidden position, but I don't think
spotted.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, Renz maybe now thinks that it's clear, but given the smoke, you have to assume that he could still be in that spot.
Toxins going up.
He's definitely wary of it.
Door chipped away at. Prowler not going to be able to go deep enough to actually fully clear it out, but if Miniboo sends a paint shell, you'll almost certainly have the Omen dead.
Yeah, now you know.
Well, yep, got the re-reveal. There's the old C's nade, and Lysor's dead. Overkill? Maybe, but still able to go ahead and block that one in. Root on entry, right click to the face, not going to be able to find the elimination. As it's just going to be Juicy left alone. See if he is going to be able to find any kind of damage here. Is Miniboo likely going to be sent out on the hunt? Yep, does get the swap on the Ghost. 3 charges from having a showstopper online. And jiggle out. He'll get 1 charge no matter what. And he'll get it in a kill as he keeps himself alive. Flawless round here. In the anti-eco, Heretics have now tied us up at 7-7.
Yeah, the methodology here for Heretics is A+, no notes. That is just so diligent. Making sure that that trick position never comes to fruition. I mean, maybe there was a chance there for Spring, but Woot able to crouch down, hold it down. Miniboo finds the final.
Juicy.
A little tap of the monitor. See you back can find some energy there.
2-12-3. It's been a brutal run for him.
I mean, a guy who is so impactful in the fragging department. Deep nano being set up, but right at the door is the nano and the alarm bot here for Wolves.
So he's going to be avoided as YU and Spring able to find 1 apiece. Solid trying to shut down a bonus conversion, but they're not ready for Boo to be here. Paranoia not going to connect though, and Spring will mow down the remainders.
In the dirt.
Gets himself a 4K and saves the round from being catastrophic. Just the 1 casualty as Wolves regain the lead.
Yeah, just a nice classic C setup here. Some of that util at the front door to stall things up. One player up on the platform, another at the stairs.
Enemy remaining.
Set up that crossfire. Spring, given those opportunities, will collect most of the time. And let's get on your feet, see if you can get the energy going. Right now, feels like it is all Heretics. They have really come alive. Miniboo is the showstopper as well. And they want to use that C's nade to try to see if they could catch it early, but Team Heretics not even thinking that direction.
But it does buy them space for Juicy to grab the Orbit A, so now he himself is 1 away from having a showstopper online.
Swarm grenade out.
So things could get a bit chaotic here if he's able to find it.
Swarm grenade.
Same nano lineup up and over the top. Looking for the setup here as the showstopper gets pulled and Miniboo's immediately dealt with. Response, however, from his big brother, still looking good. Gets himself a double kill as Rienz finds another. 1 HP, but this plant can come through.
Spike planted.
Spamming, looking to try to find any kind of stray kill, but it's able to be avoided. Rewrap needed as Lysor rotates around towards the back. Juicy trying to entry here from the front. Alarm bot giving away at least 1 position. Moves forward into the smoke. Paranoia. Gonna be good for 2 players. Bounce around the corner. Showstopper now gonna be sent. Knows that he's gonna be close. Finds the kill. Another paint shell built up. Sent, thrown here at his feet. And Juicy absolutely demolishes.
That is unreal. Unreal from Juicy. For a moment, I thought they might consider a save. But Juicy's having none of it. And that Paranoia, absolutely perfect. It doesn't get any better than that from Lysor. The opener here, a little bit of a misguess at the beginning of the round. The Killjoy util, a lot of it was actually at the front of B site here for the Wolves. So that actually opened up this extra space, and Heretics are able to just flood through and get that man advantage, but man advantage be damned. Juicy comes through again. They'll try to go for pickoffs. They'll try to get into positions where they can do damage even when the round is basically over. And they find their moments and they catch you off guard.
A little bit of a force here. Half armors for everyone. Stinger, Sheriff, a Phantom and a Vandal in hand here for Heretics. TP forward, Boo. Noted and dealt with. Lysor able to just go ahead, TP out towards safety.
These are these rounds for the Heretics where they commit a little bit of extra of their economy. Something that can cost them if they can't convert, but they have so much confidence in their own ability. Let's see if they can get it done.
Your lone flash now gone. An escorting utility of the Paranoia taken out of their hands. Potential pivot into B, given that they do have Benji Fishy kind of lingering his way in. If he's able to hit a heater of a Sheriff shot here, will just be the clear on the KJ turret instead as he backs off.
Now you've got a hell of a pinch set up. If this does turn into an A hit, the Wolves are just trying to keep it hidden. Still have the C's in CU Fat's hands. Just trying to wait this out. Let maybe Benji Fishy try to create a little bit of attention on the other side of the map.
Spotted out though.
30 seconds left.
Manages to hold him back. This flank not going to be able to come to fruition. Taps the door. You still have Spring hovering nearby to try to watch that. Benji re-wrapping his Lysor. Able to find one. Does eventually get flushed out the Vandal, finding value. Rans comes away with the kill. Miniboot up and over the top of rope. Finds a kill there. Is Spike Plant going to be interrupted? And now it's on the floor. Spring going absolutely monstrous. A tap of the plant. The time. It's just not there. It's already over. YU has to do nothing else. Wolves get to double digits.
None of my stuff has gone.
Spring is unbelievable. The game sense that he has. His mechanics are gorgeous, but his ability to just pivot on a dime here. And this opening kill for Lysor. Very nice. He gets a second. Then I was a bit worried. The forces were pulled over. Look at this from Spring. One
enemy remaining.
God. That is otherworldly.
Yeah.
I feel ya.
Just turned around and shot the other guy. And now, to add insult to injury, there's an Odin in the mix here from Lysor. Wanting to tell them, nope, not this site.
Heavy investment, though, for the Wolves. The Heretics can get this round.
Placing swarm grenade.
They might be able to start turning the economy advantage into their favor. Sending out some smokes. Again, trying to buy as much attention as they can on this C site. It worked a bit, actually. They pulled some players off of A. It opened up a little bit of space for them. They just got shut down by Spring and Lysor.
Nano to clear some nanos there at C. Alarm bot's going to be set up. Staring at each other. As the Odin continuously ringing out. However, 52 rounds remaining for Lysor.
Cover going out.
It's a little bit of damage there on the Miniboo, but certainly not the big value that he wanted to get from this Odin as he continues to run lower and lower on bullets. Push forward towards the door. Juicy going to try to hold things down here.
Oh, what a paranoia.
The paranoia locks him in position. Hasn't seen anything though. The gun barrel just on the side. The swing in. Miniboo wins the fight. The B site here almost for the taking, but YU on the repeat. Catches the enemy raise there in midair. Fight not going to go deep enough to be able to get the hit there on the Woots, and the Spike Plant can be committed to. Hit now, blocking off Baby Door. As Lysor says, all right, I'll just reposition. TP's towards upper, joins in alongside Shoot That Baby. Spring finds one. Benji Fishy going to be taken down. Two of the remaining players here inside of the pit. Push around in from behind, looking to try to find the Viper, and they found him. Just Boo now to try to clutch it out. Push on the smoke, and he cannot find it. YU with covering fire
My ultimate is ready.
allows them to get the defuse. Wolves 2 rounds away from sending Heretics home.
They are so cool, calm, and collected in this retake. A nice opener there, but then a response from YU. The pit is down, and who else but Spring to knock the first player out. And then he realizes where that Viper is. His other teammates are dying for the cause. They're trading along the way. And he knows exactly where Rienz was to get that kill. And then boom. I thought maybe he might get the timing there. They weren't guessing initially in the right direction, but YU spins on a dime.
And Miniboo's dead off the rip. The C8 combo doing wonders. Lysor will get caught as Boo. Able to trade it back, find some revenge here for his brother. Again, it's such a critical pick. The entry power gone. Now ults may have to be committed, where previously they could be saved.
Now you can let C be a little more open. It's so much harder to take C without a raise. You can commit these forces to this A side. Obviously, you know they're there. Obviously, they've been making a bunch of noise. You can lean a little bit further in that direction. Get that lockdown ready. YU going to be sitting on that ultimate, just waiting for his opportunity. With this turret being cleared, A little bit of another kind of fake here from Benji.
Here the Prowler, good spam out. Reading that spot behind the tree. Juicy does fall. Player advantage now here for the side of Heretics.
Face your fear.
So Nightfall will go across. It's going to connect on the two. Spring, Shoot That Baby both getting their audio taken away from them, holding on a wider angle. The C's not quite going to be able to connect. Woot desperately trying to get a breakthrough. YU at the same time has arrived, has a lockdown, but might not want to commit it into the round quite just yet. Plant coming in, Spring trying to run this down, trying to get the interrupt, is unable to do so. Looks to try to isolate, but it's just too many targets. 4 players alive. Heretics, a very solid bounce back. They break the win streak from Wolves. They slow the pace a bit.
They're just sort of able to outguess some of these positions. Sees Nate early. A nice TP from Boo. Through the smoke, catches his opponent, his other Omen counterpart off guard, and Lysor.
One down.
And then they're just swarming the site. That Nightfall brilliant gives them all the information they need to calmly move their way forward. Get in there. It's going to be of eco here for the side of Wolves. Just one Bulldog for YU. Mini Boot going to grab an Outlaw then, knowing the economic situation that his opponents are in, and it will be one shot onto every player of Wolves.
Turret down.
Turret going to be cleared out. I mean, a 5-man death ball push out towards Mound, forcing Penchy Fishy away and back in with the rest of the team. Trying to get a retake going from here. Going to prove to be rather difficult. See if they're going to be able to make a go of this. It's just YU back through the defender spawn. Everybody else pushing forward in towards A lobby. Penchy Fishy going to be good for one. The Paranoid connecting, holding down M1, runs out of bullets. Swaps over onto the Classic. It's a right-click kill. Juicy will be able to put him down. Weapon now scooped up. This Prowler will go on the chase, but with the drop down, Mini Boo
Gun here.
finds the kill, spots out the other.
Remaining.
And it's going to be 2 easily delivered eliminations. So YU is going to try to drift out of this poison orb, but doesn't quite have vision. Rienz cleans it up. 1 casualty, another round win. Heretics 2 away from tying it up. This map is not done yet.
This has been another solid comeback for the Heretics. Are they going to be able to find a little bit more, just like they did in the first half? See if they can catch up, close it out, force overtime. Who knows? Benji playing that angle very, very nicely, and this Outlaw is such a powerful spot. Just gets tons of value. Nothing YU can do there. So no, thought maybe there'd be a timeout considered. Back into the Odin. Spring, along with YU.
Holding wide. Does tuck back over in towards the site though. Not taking any risks, nor are Heretics, given the pre-fire on the box.
Some early rotations though from the Wolves. Double stacking the front of B door just in case. Boo is sitting with the spike, but he plops it down by pillars. Well, kind of is the direction they're thinking about. Turret on the other side there. I mean, it has been the consistent position. I've seen Heretics clear it with a nano before with Benji. So they pinged it out again, so I suspect that that's something that they're going to be diligent about here, but you can see YU ready and waiting with his ult. Wants to try to shut them out of his sight, and here goes a Nightfall.
And just on a timing. Bit of information going to be gathered there. This does allow for Heretics to just pump the brakes a little bit. Slow down the approach. It's going to be a showstopper.
30 seconds left.
Sent out here from Mini Boo. There's answering showstopper going to be set, but Mini Boo, he's ahead of the curve on this one. Juicy taken down. Lockdown's going to be exchanged here on both sides. Fed Baby able to find 1. The spray on the Odin, only going to be good for a singular kill. Woot dead, but Spring still playing forward here. Rotates around the back and catches Boo unaware.
The time!
The detain is there, but the time is certainly not. Penchy Fishy just now picks it up, but the round was already done and dusted once again. The clock betrays Heretics, and Wolves now find themselves at match point.
That is just wild. I mean, tremendous patience being shown by Wolves, but they're playing B so much of this round. I mean, Juicy and CuFat are just ready the whole time
Poison's on.
at the connector. And then the cross lockdown. Spring is able to spring forward. And the infinitely sharp knife of time cuts the Heretics again.
Shadows traveling.
The Chinese third seed looking to take down EMEA second. Heretics need 3 rounds in a row to force this into overtime.
I dropped this one.
For the opportunity, the chance to try to then take us to Ascent. Nanoswarm's coming through.
Oh,
Mini
no.
Boo gonna be getting cooked as UCall is able to find 2. Tupet Baby finds Rienz. It's just Mini Boo and Benji Fishy against the world. Juicy in the corner. Reload necessary. Spike in hand here. Where do they try to go? Tap on the door to try to instill some doubt. A smoke going to be cycled over.
Seems like Wolves are going to give them the opportunity to get the plant potentially. But when are they going to make their move? They're not giving them the opportunity to find any freebies.
Either side
Last
with much
player
util.
standing.
But Mini Boo dead. Benji Fishy, 10 HP versus 3. 30 seconds. Even with a pivot onto the B side, they're going to be able to rewrap. He's going to try to fake it out, but they have a numbers advantage. Juicy scaling forward, makes some noise. Benji Fishy hears it, and he cannot make it happen. 13-9, 2-0 fashion.